Hello, YouTubers. Top 352 here. I've been reading a lot of posts about people that are gardening this spring, and it seems like a lot of people are having a lot of trouble this year, especially in the Southwest, Texas, the desert of Arizona, back east where it's been so hot. Gardening can really be a challenge. I wish I had your guys' problems this year. Living up here in the Northwest, most of the time I'm still in the mid 40s at night, and I'll get up to 60, 62, 63 during the day. We've had a couple days over 70, but basically it's a cool spring up here. Lots of rain. Anyways, YouTubers, for you people that are in the hot regions, I lived in the desert for 18 years. I lived about 20 miles outside of Phoenix in the desert, and I gardened and had a fair amount of success. I'll tell you what I did after a lot of experimenting. I wrecked a few gardens in the beginning. Raised bed gardening is really the way to go, in my opinion, in the desert. You want it to be about a foot thick. You want it to be very good, loose, friable soil, the best you can come up with. Compost mixed in. You want to use row covers. That material, I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's a real thin covering that allows any moisture through. A little bit of light. You can buy different grades, 40, 50, 60, 70. Shade cloth, I think is what people call it. I've even used burlap bags before, but the shade cloth works better. You want to cover your gardens in the summer. So basically, raised bed gardening, good thick soil. You want to have about a 2 to 3 inch thick layer of compost over your soil. Not mixed in, just over top of it as a top dressing. Watering is an art in itself, I found. You want to try to use a soaker hose if you can. Something that you can water at or below ground level. I put the soaker hose, wound it all through the gardens. I used 4-foot by 8-foot gardens. That way I could reach in from either side, and they were not so long that I couldn't manage them, many as I needed to build. But the soaker hose was a great way to go. It stays about an inch under the compost. Watered it however you need to do it to keep the soil moist. The thing that I noticed is, though, when you overhead watered, or when I overhead watered in the summer in the desert, it all evaporated. I mean, temperatures were typically in the summertime 110, 115, 120 degrees with 7, 8, 10% humidity. So any overhead watering, it just went right into the air. So that meant that the leaves got a little bit of water, not much. They can only absorb so much. The roots got virtually nothing because time the water got down to the root level, it was all evaporated. So anyways, the things that I said as far as the soil goes, the top dressing, the soaker hose, the row covers over top worked fantastic, and got some pretty darn good yields, especially with tomatoes. Boy, they love that heat. Then in the evenings, a lot of times in the desert, it would get down to 60, 65 at night. I'd go ahead and open them covers up and let it air all night, and then put them back on in the morning for the heat of the day. You just don't want that scorching sun on them, because that just will burn up your plants, or they just can't withstand it. Remember, those things that you're planning to eat really probably didn't come from there at all. So you're trying to take a plant that doesn't even come from that place, put it in that place, and expect it to grow and produce. So you've got to give it an environment that it'll thrive in, and that's really a key. Okay, YouTubers, I hope that helped, and I'm sure enjoying getting involved in this. Take care.